Once upon a time, 6 princes stepped forward and broke their father's heart when they said, "Father, we are princes, and we need to go on an adventure. We're going to leave this castle for a year and a day, and you, please, will give to us the provisions, the supplies we'll need for our adventures." "Oh, but I'll be lonely." "That's why we're leaving our youngest brother, Boots, behind." "Boots? All he does is sit by the fire and poke at the ashes with his boots. He's not much company." "Well, Father, please understand. We're young men. We need to have adventures. We've got to go. We'll be back in a year and a day." And the king gave his brothers fine horses and supplies. And then, with tears in his eyes, "Fare thee well," he said, while Boots just kicked the fire ashes with his boots. Well, Boots didn't do much more during the year. But when that day came, he stood up in the tower of the castle and looked out, hoping to see some sign of his brothers' return. But when they did not come back as promised on the day after the year, Boots knew in his heart he had to go out and find them. Something had happened to them. Perhaps they were swallowed by a dragon, or maybe they were held prisoner. But he would find out. "Father, I have to go. I have to go find my brothers. But what about me?" "Father, I give you my promise as a prince." And he crossed his heart. "I will come back." "Listen, Boots, my youngest son, I only have an old donkey and a little bit of water and grain to give. I'll take it, and I'll come back." And the king again cried as he sent off his only son. Well, Boots traveled far and wide and wide and far, and everywhere he went, he would say, "Do you know where there are 6 brothers? They're mine. They're princes." And people would say, could you say, "I don't know"? You could say it too. "Do you know where there are 6 brothers? Have you seen them by?" Would you say, "We haven't seen them"? "Have you seen my brothers? They're all princes." Say, "What are you talking about?" And he even traveled so far, he met people who didn't really understand him, who I think spoke only Spanish. Does anyone speak Spanish here? But when he said, "Have you seen my brothers?" Could you say in Spanish, "I haven't seen them"? You forgot how to speak Spanish? Wait till I tell your abuela that you forgot. Who can say it in Spanish? Say, "I haven't seen them." Yo no la belle. Well, Portuguese? Could you say, "I haven't seen them" in Portuguese? Now, along the way, Boots saw something. Not people, but a crow lying in the dust on a road. Its tongue hung out of its mouth. Well, Boots was still a prince. He jumped down off of his donkey, and he had a little bit of water, and he poured it over the beaks of the crow, who came back to life. It flew up and landed in a tree, and Boots thought that the crow might just go, "Caw, caw," but instead, it spoke. "Thank you for giving this old crow water. If ever you need my help finding your brothers, whistle. Just once." "Thank you," said Boots, and he went on his way. Along his way, Boots on that road met with a strange sight. On top of a bridge, over a stream of water, he saw a fish, gasping in the air. Boots jumped off of his donkey and picked up the fish and put it into the water. He thought it would just swim off, but the fish poked its head out of the water and spoke. Thank you. Thank you for saving me. But if ever you need my help, just whistle. And I will be there. I don't know how a fish could help me find my brothers, but thank you. And the fish swam off, and Boots went off. Until traveling along that same dusty road, he saw a wolf. It was lying on its back, so starved, Boots could see the wolf's ribs sticking through the skin. Oh, you poor creature! I only have a little bit of grain and water. But the wolf, like the others, spoke. Thank you, but there's something more I need from you. And if you give it to me, I'll lead you to your 6 brothers. Where are my brothers? What do you know of them? They're under a spell. But I can help you break it. How? Feed me your donkey. My donkey? But it's the way I have to travel. Feed me your donkey and I will bring to where you to where your brothers are. Please. I'm a starving wolf. And Boots got off his donkey and pushed it toward the wolf. Now, this is kind of a frightful part of the story. You might want to turn your head away while I describe what the wolf had to do. The wolf devoured the donkey. It even ate the... And then it stood up like a man on 2 legs and said, come, jump onto my back. I'm going to bring you to Skull Mountain. Why Skull Mountain? That's where your brothers 6 are held captive by the giant No-Heart. And Boots obeyed. He jumped onto the wolf's back, and the wolf ran, ow, 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 over brake and bramble, until it came to a great skull-shaped mountain. It had caverns like eyes and nostrils, and great stalactites and stalagmites that resembled teeth. The wolf said, if ever you need my help, you just whistle. Thrice, and I'll be there. And Boots squeezed through those stalactite-like teeth and found himself in a cavern, large as this room, the only light a faint green glow. But there he saw 6 statues of horses, with a young man and a young woman perched upon the horses. These are strange. This young man, and that one, and this one, looks like my brothers. Brothers, are you under a spell, or are you made of stone? Brothers, do you hear me? They could, but they couldn't speak. And neither could the 6 young women who were also on the horses of stone, all under a spell. He noticed then a light approaching. He hid in the shadows, and when this young woman carrying a torch appeared, he jumps out. Who are you? What happened to my brothers? What is this place? Is there a giant? She said, There is giant No-Heart. I am his servant. These 6 young women on the horses are my sisters under a spell. I'm trying to break it, but You're the one I've been waiting for. You can help. How can I help? Shh. Do you hear it? Hear what? Kaboom. 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 What is it? It's the giant No Heart. Quick, listen to what I discussed with this giant. But you better hide in the shadows. Go. And she shoved him into the shadows. Good thing. Kaboom. 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 There came into the great cavern a giant so large, had it walked into this room, it would have had to have bent over here to stand. Princess, what is it that my nose knows? I don't know. Giant No Heart. My nose knows. There's a man about. Is there a man hiding in here? You find him. You stick him into my stew. Oh, no, there's no man around here. Then what does my nose know? Oh, I know what it is that your nose knows. Earlier, there came a rat, and it was carrying a man's finger. Then find the finger and the rat, and put them into my stew. And then the giant started to go away, and the young woman, the seventh princess, says, Giant, what? They say you have no heart in your body. Pray tell, where is your heart? My heart? Ah, it's in the cupboard in the kitchen. Now I've things to attend to. Kaboom! 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 And the giant left. Boots jumped out from the shadows. That's what we want, the giant's heart. That's the key to getting him to break the spell. Get me to the kitchen. Well, they went into the kitchen, and Boots and the young woman, the princess, they threw open all the cupboards. They found no heart, just bowls and bones. Boots turned and saw the seventh princess putting flowers in a vase. She said, What are you doing? Are you giving that mean, nasty giant who turned our brothers and sisters into stone flowers? Listen and follow what happens. Do you hear him? What? He's coming back. Kaboom. 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 Quick, under the table. And the seventh princess shoved Boots under the table. Good thing. Kaboom! Bluthering and blathering, the giant returned. It said, Princess, I smell a man about. Is he hiding under the table? And the giant began to reach under the table. But the princess placed herself between the giant and Boots and said, Oh no, there's no man here. Then what does my nose know? There was a mouse in the kitchen carrying a man's ear. Then fetch the mouse and the ear and put them into my stew. Why are there flowers here? Well, giant, I thought that since your heart was here in the kitchen, there should be flowers near. My heart is not here in the kitchen. Then where is it? Oh, my heart is buried out in the garden. Now I've things to attend to. And away went the giant with everyone say, Kaboom! 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 And kaboom! Quick, let's get to the garden. They ran out into the garden, and they began to dig here and there, looking for the giant's heart. And then the seventh princess said, Quick, Boots, lie down. He's coming, but there's no heart here. It's another trick. I know, just lie down. And she had Boots stretch out, and she threw some dirt over him. And then she stood right above him. And kaboom, 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 kaboom! The giant returned and pulled on a beard made of bushes. It flickered his fish eyes and said, I smell a man. It's right there lying down in this garden. No, that's not a man. Then what does my nose know? Oh, while we were digging, I wanted to plant flowers over your heart. We found an ant, or many ants, and they all had some man's eyelashes. Then fetch, I know, the ants and the lashes, and put them into your stew. And why are you planting flowers in my garden? Well, giant, you said your heart is in the garden, and I thought flowers should grow about. My heart is not here. Well then, where is it? You'll never find it to put flowers upon it. Where is it? Giant dear, tell. No one's called me dear since I lost my heart 202 years ago. Well, where is, dear giant, your heart? I'll tell you where it really is. Far away there is a lake, and on the lake there's an island, and on the island stands a church, and in the church there is a well, and in the well there is a duck, and in the duck there is an egg, and in that egg is my cold blue heart. Kaboom! 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 Away went the giant. Boots sat up and brushed off the dirt and said, Alas, that island sounds so far. However will I find the giant's heart? The seventh princess said, What about that wolf who brought you here? Hey, how do you know about that? I know many things. Give a whistle. Everyone, will you whistle 3 times? How may I help the one who fed me? Bring me to the island where there's a church. And Wolf jumped onto the back of the wolf. It ran over brake and bramble, jumped into the lake, swam to the island, and happened upon an old stone church. Stone, but its walls glistened with a thick slime, and up on the tower of the church hung a key that only a giant could reach. How will I get that key? The wolf answered. What about your friend, the crow? Would you give one whistle and say, caw, caw? The crow appeared, saying, How may I help the one who gave me water? Fetch that key, please. And the crow flew, fetched the key, and gave it to Boots. Caw! And Boots, kitch-a-clunk, opened the door to the old stone church. He stepped inside with the wolf. And there they saw in the stained glass no images of saints, but instead there were twisted demons and diabolical devils. But there, where there could have been an altar, was a well, and swimming in the well, a duck. The wolf did what wolves do. Everyone say, "Rah!" And the duck flew, whack, 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 and it laid its egg, which splashed into the well. Boots tried to grab it, but it was gone. Look what you've done. That egg had the heart. How will I get it? What about your friend, the fish? Ha! How did you know? Oh, never mind. Boots went back to the lake and whistled twice. Everyone, please whistle twice. And the fish appeared. How may I help? The one who helped me. I want you to fetch an egg at the bottom of a well. But at once, bring me to the well. Boots picked up the fish and brought it to the well, and soon it came back and spit out the egg. And it went up over the fingertips of Boots and the paws of the wolf, and crack! It landed broken on the floor of the church, and between eggshell pieces, beating blue, Boots found the giant's heart. He picked it up and squeezed it, and from far away he heard, "Whoa! Quick, Wolf, bring me back to Skull Mountain. We have this giant where we want him. We're going to get him to break this spell, or I'm going to break the giant's heart." And Boots jumped onto the back of the wolf, who ran over brake and bramble after swimming across the lake, and returned to Skull Mountain. And there stood the giant, blithering and blathering, raging and roaring, "Give me back my heart! Give me my..." But Boots gave the heart a squeeze. "Wow! Pray not break my heart. I will break it, unless you break the spell you put upon my brothers and the 6 princesses, and the horses too." And the giant obliged. It closed its fish eyes and opened them. A soft green light poured from the giant's eyes, and it happened upon the statues. And it lifted the spell. No longer were the brothers 6, the sisters 6, the horses 6 stone, but they jumped to life. "Let's get out of here. Let's go." And they ran off before Boots and the 7th princess and the wolf could catch up with them. But now the giant was trying to catch up to them. Well, they tried to jump onto the wolf to get away, but the giant was right there. Kaboom! 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 And then the 7th princess cries, "The heart! Put it in that patch of sunlight." Boots listened and set the heart, and when the sun warmed it, the giant softened. His beard of bushes became soft hair. His fish eyes became, well, eyes like yours or mine. And the giant reached out and picked up its warm red heart. The giant opened up its mouth, and it swallowed his heart. The heart went to the right place. And with his heart in the right place, the giant bowed and said, "Thank you for bringing back my heart. Now, let me return the favor. What may I do for thee?" The 7th princess said, "You can bring us to his castle. There is going to be a wedding, the first of 7. And the giant picked up Boots, the 7th princess, and the wolf, and kaboomed his way all the way back to the castle, where the king now cried, but with tears of joy, "Ha ha! Now Boots, my 7th son, is back, and it looks like we're going to have some weddings." And the 7th princess said, "Yes, and we'll start with this one." Boots said, "Which one? Who's getting married?" "You and me." And they got married. And you know what? I got to go to that wedding, and it was fantastic. Why, the giant had the wedding like a priest, and the wolf was the best man. And best of all, I got a piece of the wedding cake. Oh, but you know, when I was waiting for you to come in, I got a little hungry. I forgot to have breakfast, and I ate a piece of the cake. So I don't have that to show, but at least now you know the story of the giant with no heart in his body, who now got his heart back. Thank you for listening, and you can go like this.